Hey everybody, welcome. I am Dean Rogers. You guys are not going to want to miss this one today because I get fired up because we had another investor on one of our buyers list try to tell the seller that we were wholesaling the property and tried to steal the deal from us. You can't make this up, so make sure you watch the whole thing to the end to hear all the juicy details and see what we did. Let's get it. Welcome back, everybody. As we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, let YouTube know that you like what you're seeing and you want some more. We appreciate it. All right, so this episode of Deals with Dean, we're going to share with you a deal that we just closed where we had another investor try to steal the deal from us by contacting the seller as soon as we sent the property out, and actually told them that we didn't have the money to close, that we were going to wait until the day of closing to try to get a price reduction from them, and contractually they were going to be obligated to take that price reduction and would be forced to do it. But before I tell you how that turned out, let me back things up first and tell you how this deal all came together. All right, so this lead first came through as a PPC lead, and just within 2 days, we actually got the property under contract. Now, the terms on this one were a little different and unique to most deals, where the seller actually needed to do a lease back for 6 months. Now, a lease back is when the seller wants to stay in the property after you close on it and rent it back from you. So in this case, they needed until the summer, until one of their kids was done with school, to rent the property back from us. Now, it's Christmas time, so about 6 months to be able to rent the property back. We had the property under contract, we sent it out to our buyers list, and quickly we have a handful of people that are interested, and we have one particular buyer that walked the property and said they were ready to pull the trigger. Now, coincidentally, that same day, we had the seller send us a text, I think at like 10 p.m., and said, hey, are you wholesaling this property or are you actually buying it? I had someone contact me and told me that you were selling the property, and they followed that text with a link to the actual email that we send out to our buyers list. So I couldn't help but call that buyer who actually walk the property and say, yo, dude, did you say anything in particular to this seller that might have caused them to feel like we were selling it to you or anything like that? So the buyer quickly told me,
No, man, it wasn't me. I didn't say anything.
He's actually a super cool guy. I didn't assume he said anything wrong in the first place, but sometimes the sellers are looking for any sort of reason to, kind of feel skeptical of a deal. But to actually receive a link to the email I sent out, now that was pretty crazy. So anyways, this buyer felt really bad that he might have caused some issues. I assured him, no, it wasn't you. And I think I found the
rat. This annoying, eating fucking rat.
So we called the seller right away to get to the bottom of this, find out what the issue was, where did it come from. The seller came out right away to say they didn't really care whether we were wholesaling it or not. They just wanted to get the price that we had promised, and they wanted to know we were going to close. That was the biggest thing for the seller. Now, turns out they ended up sharing the names of the people, which were Fernando and Mark. Now, I know the full names of these two individuals, but to keep it professional, which we are always above and beyond, to keep things professional and do the right thing, I'll just leave it at that. So it turns out this Fernando and Mark guy went to the seller, sent them the link to the actual email we sent out to our buyers list, and continued to tell them that we were just wholesalers. We didn't buy properties. We weren't going to be able to close on it, And at the last minute, we were going to try to basically rug pull them and get a price reduction on the property, and contractually they were going to be obligated to it. So they might as well just cancel the deal and go with them. Now I gotta say, this pissed me off. It got me so fired up. I had to take action right away. So I went straight to my list after I found out the names, and I saw right who it was. And that confirmed to me that this person, who had viewed it twice when I initially sent it out, and just by coincidence had viewed it in the wee hours of the night. It was like 11 or 12 p.m. the day before the seller reached out. So this told me right away that it was very planned, very strategic, which I already knew after I got all the information. So what did I do next? In that moment, I was extremely pissed off, and I did not want to let these guys get away with it. Now, I wasn't going to go off the rails and do something unprofessional, but what I did do was I went straight back to my MailChimp. I put together an email that basically called these two dudes out and put them on notice. Over the past handful of years, I have taken a lot of pride in collaborating and working with other investors in the community that when I first started and had a scarcity mindset, I normally would have considered as competition. But as the years have gone on, I've had an abundance mindset and view everyone else that most would consider competition really as partners, as people that I can trust and work with. And so we have really built an amazing community over the years. So I felt like our community deserved to know about these rats and the bad actions that they were taking, and everyone else needed to know about it. So I put together this email and sent it out. And as soon as I hit send, I had an outpouring of love and support from everybody in the community. And they immediately said, like, thank you for letting us know about this. Couldn't believe that this happened. I had one guy that I've worked with many times on our buyers list who's a super cool dude. He's like, hey, now I know not to mess with you, man. I think it was really important for, everybody to know if you're going to do something like this, you're going to be called out, and it's just behavior that is not acceptable. Now, the great part was this guy, Mark, who was on my list, actually viewed that email 3 times that same day before I unsubscribed them from my list. So they surely saw it and viewed it over and over, maybe even shared it with the Fernando dude. To make it even better, they continued to pursue the seller and try to get the deal out from under us, which is just comedy and pathetic, actually. So, go get your own deals. I'm sorry you got to try to chase after ours. Not only did we close on this deal, but we got an amazing review from the seller. All right, now before we close this deal, we ran into one last hiccup, and that was that the seller's payoff actually came in just under $20,000 higher than expected, which prevented them from achieving that number that they wanted to hit in order to close. Now, in some cases, sellers will just take that for what it is and accept that they're not getting as much and continue forward. In this case, the seller, after all this drama had unfolded and was on board with closing with us, ended up saying, hey, the payoff came back in lower, so I'm gonna have to cancel escrow. We quickly problem solved and got to the exact numbers of the payoff and found out that the number she was trying to hit was $40,000. And so we got to work. We figured really the only way we were gonna be able to make that happen was to reduce our assignment fee. Now, great news on this one. Our original assignment that we signed with the buyer was for a $62,000 profit. Now, because we had the wiggle room in this deal, we ended up unfortunately reducing our assignment fee, which at the end of the day was the only way we were going to get this deal done. And at the end of the day, it turned into an exact $43,980.03 profit deal. So like I said, we got the deal closed. We had the seller leave us a raving review, and we just, again, proved to ourselves that we could be problem solvers. We could overcome hurdles. And amongst all the drama, we were able to source who the rat was, put them on notice, and let them know they can't be doing that in our community. As a matter of fact, beyond all the support we had, I actually had 2 other people reach out that they said, was it Mark blank? And they had similar bad experiences in the past that did not turn out good. So first things first, you want to vet your buyers. You want to make sure that they're quality, good people. I have a conversation with every buyer before I add them to the list to make sure they know how we work, that we mean business, and that we are legit. We're not just some newbies getting started that can be pushed around. We do 10 plus deals a month, and we know how to get it done. So, hope this video was helpful for you. Hope that it encourages you to stay strong, believe in yourself, push through adversity, and get it done. Let's go, baby. Until next time, peace.